The Anglican Church seems to be a mystery to so many people that I talk to today, and this may be just anecdotal. It seems that it wasn't all that long ago that you could talk about the Episcopal Church, or even use the word Anglican, talk about the Anglican Church, and people would basically understand what you meant. You could mention other mainline denominations, and people would understand and perhaps recall that way. But today, I rarely will speak to someone who has even heard of Anglicanism or even the word, and never mind attended an Anglican church. And what's so surprising about this, and kind of unfortunate as well, is the fact that Americans in particular should know Anglicanism because of how much we have played a part in and a role in the history of the United States and as well as the world. The Anglican Church, or the Church of England, is very old and ancient, for one thing. There's clear evidence that Christians were on the British Isles in the latter part of the first century. This is not all that long after Christ's resurrection. Church Father Origen says it was somewhere around 230 AD that Great Britain had a church on the island there. At that time, Church Father Athanasius says that the Church of Britain accepted the decrees of the Council of Nicaea in the 4th century. You have St. Alban, who lived in the mid-3rd century as well, thought to be the first Christian martyr. The very famous and well-loved St. Patrick, 4th century individual church father, originally from Great Britain, actually, not Ireland, but Great Britain. He was actually taken and kidnapped by pirates. And then when he returned back to England, he went back to Ireland to evangelize, because his heart was really there and for those people. You have King Alfred the Great in the 9th century, great king of the West Saxon and West Saxons, of course, also in the Anglo-Saxons, where Anglicanism and Anglo, that word is the root of Anglicanism. And that king brought great revival to England. He brought revival of learning. For one thing, he also defended the island against the Vikings at that time and oversaw the conversion of a number of Vikings to Christianity. St. Anselm lived in the 12th century, also from Great Britain. He is noted for his ontological argument for the existence of God, and that's an argument that's used in apologetic circles even to this day. Some still find a great use in using that as an argument for the existence of God. You've got the first Bible translated in English by Englishman John Wycliffe. And then, of course, the Church of Rome, the Church of England, was part of the Roman Church at this period. But Wycliffe's translation would be very influential for coming future translations of the Bible, and would be influential, of course, at the time of the Reformation in particular, which England also played a great role in as well. So if you were part of a Reformation church, the English church was instrumental there as well. And from here forward, they're only really a multiplication of influential individuals, brilliant men, brilliant thinkers, brought up in Anglicanism that helped advance the Anglican faith and practice right up to the current day. So for all of its history, it remains kind of strange, at least to me, that the Americans don't know much about Anglicanism, especially those names and individuals that helped shape the constitutional government that we even live under today. They helped shape the spiritual life of Americans for very many centuries as well. So this is obviously a call for us as Anglicans to remind people of these facts and offer them the experience to worship with us, and because we have such a long and ancient history and heritage, and ask them to become part of that, to visit a church like ours that's come from a country that has given birth to so many notable figures, and to enter into a body of believers. It's an invitation to enter into a body of believers and a way of life that has its roots going back to the very first days of the Christian church. So from here forward, I'm going to do a little series of videos. I'm hoping to do a number of videos here on other Anglican names that I know that you'll recognize by name, and something they've written, something they've said. And again, I think you'll be kind of impressed on how much of an impression Anglicanism and Anglicans have had in the history of the world. So stay tuned for more videos like this in the near future.